Have you ever wondered who the Crusaders were and why they embarked on such perilous journeys? Picture this, a time of knights and kings, of peril and faith. Now imagine thousands of these knights spurred by faith, setting sail on an uncertain voyage with a single goal. These individuals are the Crusaders. Their journeys and battles echo through the annals of history, shaping the world as we know it. Stay tuned as we unravel the intriguing saga of the Crusaders. The year was 1096, and the world witnessed a phenomenon like never before. As the dawn of the 11th century approached, the papacy under the leadership of Pope Urban II called for a holy war against the Muslim powers in the East. This marked the beginning of the First Crusade. The Pope's impassioned speech at the Council of Clermont ignited the flame of religious fervor, mobilizing thousands of knights and commoners alike, all united under the cross, all bound by a shared goal to reclaim the holy city of Jerusalem. Key figures emerged like Godfrey of Bouillon, Raymond of Saint-Gilles, and Beaumont of Taranto. These were among the many noble and less noble figures who risked their lives in pursuit of religious salvation and earthly rewards, leading the charge across treacherous lands and against formidable foes. The journey was arduous, fraught with challenges both from the enemy and within their own ranks. Yet after 3 long years, in the summer of 1099, the Crusaders achieved what many thought impossible. They captured Jerusalem, sending shockwaves through the Christian and Muslim worlds alike. The Crusaders' thirst for conquest was far from quenched. As the echoes of the First Crusade began to fade, the Second Crusade was ignited. This crusade, taking place between 1147 and 1149, was a response to the fall of the county of Edessa, the first of the Crusader states to be established and the first to fall. The key personalities of this crusade were King Louis VII of France and Emperor Conrad III of Germany. They were among the most powerful men of their time, but their grand ambitions would eventually lead to disappointment. The Second Crusade was largely a failure. Despite their combined strength, the Crusaders' attempt to recapture the fallen county of Edessa was thwarted, and their subsequent attack on Damascus ended in a humiliating retreat. In the wake of this failure, the Third Crusade, often referred to as the King's Crusade, was launched. This crusade, spanning from 1189 to 1192, was a direct response to the recapture of Jerusalem by the Muslim forces led by the legendary Saladin, though the subsequent crusades were a series of attempts to reclaim what was once theirs. This line sets the stage for the Fourth through Ninth Crusades, a story of persistence, loss, and lasting change. We begin with the Fourth Crusade, which was intended to retake Jerusalem, but instead ended in the notorious sack of Constantinople in 1204. Instead of uniting Christian forces against a common enemy, it deepened the divide between the Eastern and Western churches, a rift that continues to this day. The Fifth and Sixth Crusades took a different approach, attempting diplomatic negotiations. Unfortunately, these efforts proved ineffective and Jerusalem remained out of Christian control. Then came the Seventh and Eighth Crusades, led by King Louis IX of France. Despite his determination and devotion, these campaigns also ended in failure. Louis himself perished during the Eighth Crusade, marking a significant blow to the morale of the Crusaders. Finally, the Ninth Crusade, often considered the last major crusade, ended not with a grand battle, but with a whimper. The Crusaders' dream of regaining the Holy Land was effectively over. But why did the Crusades lose their effectiveness over time? Many historians point to a combination of factors: the logistical challenges of mounting such campaigns, the growing power and unity of Muslim states, and the dwindling enthusiasm in Europe for these costly and distant wars. The impact of these later crusades was profound. They further strained relations between the East and West, and they left a legacy of mistrust and conflict in the Middle East. But they also led to increased trade and cultural exchange as Europeans were exposed to the scientific and philosophical advancements of the Muslim world. In the West, the Crusades contributed to the rise of strong central monarchs, as nobles often had to sell or mortgage their lands to fund their crusading efforts. This shift in power dynamics played a significant role in shaping the Europe we know today. The later Crusades marked the end of an era, but their legacy was far from over. Their influence can still be seen and felt in our modern world in ways both visible and hidden. The echoes of the Crusades can still be heard today. The statement resonates with the undeniable truth that the Crusades have had a profound and lasting impact on the world. The legacy of these religious wars extends far beyond the battles and the bloodshed. One of the most significant effects of the Crusades was the cultural exchange between the East and the West. The Crusaders, hailing from Europe, were exposed to the advanced civilization of the Middle East, which had made significant strides in fields such as medicine, philosophy, and astronomy. When the Crusaders returned home, they brought with them newfound knowledge, sparking a period of intellectual and cultural growth in Europe that would eventually lead to the Renaissance. The Crusades also heralded changes in warfare. The Crusaders were introduced to new military tactics and technologies from the Middle East, such as the use of the crossbow and the development of siege warfare. These innovations were integrated into European warfare, shaping the future of military strategy and tactics. In terms of political shifts, the Crusades led to the rise of powerful military orders, such as the Knights Templar and the Knights Hospitaller. These orders, initially established to protect Christian pilgrims, grew in power and influence, contributing to the political landscape of the Middle Ages. Furthermore, the Crusades have had a profound impact on modern perceptions of religious conflict. They stand as a stark reminder of the destructive potential of religious fanaticism and intolerance, serving as a cautionary tale for modern society. However, it's also important to remember that the Crusades were a product of their time, a period marked by religious fervor and political ambition. It's a chapter in our history that should be studied and understood, not for the purpose of assigning blame, but for gaining insight into the complexities of human nature and the societal forces that can drive us to conflict. The Crusades, a saga of faith, power, and conflict, have left an indelible mark on human history. So, were the Crusaders heroes, villains, or something in between? We've delved into their inception, their successive campaigns, and the long-lasting impacts of their actions. We've seen the multifaceted nature of the Crusaders, their noble goals entwined with brutal realities. They were complex characters woven into the intricate tapestry of history. History often resists simple answers, and the Crusaders' story is a testament to that complexity. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey.